What's up, y'all? AJ back with another Fantasy Boys recap. Apologies for the late upload. I was severely sick and I had to go out of town at the worst possible time, but I am back and it is time to recap Fantasy Boys episode 2, and you get to see Emo J-Hope once again because NBC is not copywriting me today. I don't care. Anyways, let's just get into Fantasy Boys episode 2 because there was a lot to talk about. So we pick up right where we left off with the demo stages, and the next train to come up is Moon Hyunbin from Cypher, the leader of Cypher, and he's basically just stated that he's just doing this so that way he can make his name as well as the group's name bigger, because as you know, a lot of 4th gen boy groups are just debuting left and right, and it's hard to get your name out there. So I respect him for that. And also we also support Cant as he is currently in Boys Planet. He made it to the finals. We're very happy about that. But yes, anyways, he does a performance of Feeling Like by Pentagon, which is a really, really good song. And Soyeon does mention this later, but she thinks that he should have picked a different song to showcase his abilities, which I 100% agree with, because that song choice was probably not the best for Hyunbin, and he sadly ends up being a little bit pitchy and his mic falls out, and it was just a very sad mess to witness, and I just felt so bad for him. But hey, he proves himself later on in this episode, so we commend him for that. But sadly, he does end up getting 3rd rank for the performance. Next up, we have Yaya, and y'all already know Yaya and Santa already getting some things said about each other on Twitter, because that's a whole mess we don't need to get into right now. But yeah, pretty much, we all know Yaya, very popular Thai BL actor in general, and he does a singing performance of You Are the Reason by Caleb Scott, which I love that song. And when he finishes and the judges ask, do you have any dancing you like to show us? And he says, I have a chorus performance of Treasure, Going Crazy by Treasure. And they're like, okay. So he does his performance, and you could see on the judges' faces that they were hella disappointed because they were like, this would be something that would be suitable for like a fan meet or something. And I would sadly have to agree, considering that these trainees are like having like the full song ready and everything like that, and the fact that he looked down as he was dancing as well, which is something that you should not do. Even if you're not confident, don't look down. That's just a personal pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry. I still love Yaya regardless, but sadly he ends up getting 3rd ranking, which I would sadly have to agree with, but I hope for nothing but the best for him. The next trainee is Kim Gyure, the child giant himself. I'm nicknaming him the tiny giant at this point. And he is 15 years old and he's 182 centimeters. Like, explain how I am so short compared to this child. Even though he's only like 2 or 3 years older than me. But anyways, he's only been training for a month, and he does Rhythm Top by Icon, which, I was already happy about because I do love me some Icon. And he was very energetic, and he had a lot of really great potential for someone who's only been training for like 1 month. So he did his little thing, and it was really good. Even the judges praised him a lot for his performance, and they were like, there's no way he can get first. Even the trainees were like, there's no way he can get first, but it was still a good performance. But big shocker, he ends up getting 1st place, and that just led to like a whole spiral of just me ranting at my screen, because even the trainees admitted, some of the trainees even admitted that there were some trainees that should have gotten 1st over him, which I would sadly agree with, because I'm not saying his performance was bad, but like, I wouldn't say it's 1st place worthy, if that makes sense. But I still love him, and I will still forever support him. He just needs a bit more time, and he'll make it. I promise you, he will make it. The next trainee that they show is Jin Myung-jae, and he looks so pretty. I don't know why, but he just looks so pretty. I love him. He states that he has asthma, and a lot of the contestants and the judges keep saying that he looks sick, And like, I think someone said that he gives like a sickly vibe or something like that, which is something that should not be a thing in my opinion. Because no. And he states that he wants to be an idol because it's one of the only things that make him happy. And coming from someone who does K-pop covers for fun and enjoyment in their lives, I 100% agree. Do what you want. We love that. And he does Fear by 17, and it was sadly not well received by the judges. Even Soyeon and Changmin were like, if you're gonna go for like the sickly vibe, try to make it more efficient. And Changmin just chimes in and was like, instead of making it look sickly, you just made it look sick. And I was like, oh my lord. Okay, that's a very strong opinion, but okay. And sadly, he ends up getting third, which I would kind of agree with, but I kind of want him in second because he has the potential. But that's just probably me being biased, so don't comment me on that. They don't show full performances for the rest of the trainees that show up, but they do show a little bit, like some snippets of some of the other trainees. Like my boy Taeseon, he does Boom by NCT Dream, gets second, which I disagree with, but it's fine. Santa performs Jikjin by Treasure, ends up getting second. And I'm just going to put this picture here of these two beautiful trainees doing Hit by Mamamoo because they deserve the attention. I'm gonna stop because it's too loud and it's like 12 a.m. over here. Anyways, the final trainee to show is Thingshi, and he does Kickback by Wavy, one of my favorite Wavy songs next to Action Figure, and he does very, very well, gets praised by the judges. He gets first grade, which I agree with, and then the evaluations end with 20 trainees in third, which they look very depressed, by the way. It's 20 in second grade and 15 in first, and that is the end of the producer evaluations. So then the judges announced that the producer evaluation is over, and the next thing is the quote-unquote reevaluation, also known as the fantasy evaluation, where they will be reevaluated based on how they perform the theme song for the show, which is Fantasy, which you can watch on their YouTube channel as well as anywhere else, because it's a really good song and I actually really, really like it. Does it beat My Teenage Girl? Not personally for me, because that song will forever slap as one of the best survival show themes, but that's just me. Anyways, the third grade trainees cannot move into the living quarters yet because they are held for admission, and only 5 third grade trainees will be able to participate in the show, meaning that, like, I'm not good with math, 15 of them are not making it. I think I'm not good with math. I'm sorry, but that's how it was, and it's unfortunate. But if you saw My Teenage Girl, it could have been way worse. We could have got what we got in My Teenage Girl with half of them leaving before the first evaluation. No, we don't need that again. Anyways, let's just move on. So then we cut to the first graders moving into the living quarters, which is very, very huge. Like, they're all going to be living in that one, like, giant room. Like, yes, and those beds look comfy as hell. Like, I want to sleep in those beds. Those look comfy. I'll trade you. Anyways, the second graders then move in, and poor K-Soul is just like, we all have to sleep in the same room? No, I don't like it here. I want to go home. And I was just like, oh, Lord. Also, keep in mind, around the time that this episode came out, K-Soul was getting a lot of backlash for just basically acting quote-unquote cringy and annoying, which I can understand, but you can't change the man. It's just how he is. He also got some heat on Twitter for a picture of him doing cultural appropriation, but you can look that up on your own time. I'm not going to get into that because this video is long enough as it is. So we're just going to move on and get to the reevaluations. Then we cut to a scene of the trainees in second grade getting their little training before reevaluation. And I just want to give a little shout out to Kim Byung-jun because this man was just like, yeah, I'm a rapper and I'm gonna prove it to you, because when he sang the song, it was an interesting time. You can look it up yourself. I'm not gonna show the video because copyright, but it was just a fun little time. was just a fun little time. Also, I want to give a little shout out to Daehui. I'm so sorry. Daehui. Anyways, he does very, very well. And like, this episode just made me vote for him because he just was amazing. And we appreciate him for his efforts. So, go Daehui. Then it was the first graders' turn, and the mentors that were helping them out were like, okay, this shouldn't be so bad because, first graders, they do well. They do well. And then after some of the trainees go, it is now Gyore's turn, and he struggles a lot with the song. And, I just felt so bad because it's all kind of been avoided. But hey, the judges, they don't know who's going to get what grade. They just vote for their personal opinions, and then it just happens. So unfortunately, Gyore's fate sadly led him to get first, and he got heavily critiqued by the mentors while he was singing and dancing because he wasn't up to par with the other first graders. But thankfully, some of them help him out, and he does get a little bit better. And I just want nothing but the best for this child because he deserves so much better. I'm so sorry to Gyore. You're doing great, sweetie. We love you. Then we get to the third graders, and they're looking a bit down because, third grade, it's like you're in last place, not the best place to be in. During their evaluations, Jae-young, he gets criticized for saying, he has good vocals, but it doesn't give an idol vibe, which I would 100% agree with because, his vocals are good. Let's not ignore that fact. His vocals are good for some of the time, but I don't think he would fit an idol group per se, if that makes sense. Anyways, we get through some of the other trainees. Hyunbin and Yuma get praised for their vocal ability. Even Yuma is stated to be one of the best singers in third grade out of all the foreigners. And I was like, dang, go Yuma, pop off. But yeah, anyways, after that, we cut back to the rooms. Everyone's getting ready for the night. And then Santa is just trading his butt off while everyone's asleep. And, I felt so bad for Santa because I know he wants to do his best and improve. And I just want nothing but the best for him because he's trying his best. And that is honestly all that matters. Then we move on to the reevaluations, and also known as the first semester, also known as the Idol DNA, whatever you want to call it. It's the first semester part. And it is announced that the first graders will have 14 people, and those 14 people will get to promote the fantasy song on MBC, which was already posted on YouTube, so you can go check that out. And it is revealed that some trainees could drop from first grade and some second graders can go up. So that's pretty cool. So they go in groups and they perform their songs, and I felt so bad for Gyore because it's kind of similar to Idol School. If you watched Idol School, it's the show that made Promise 9. Basically, they would single out your voice so that way they could hear you individually as well as in the group. And you could just hear that Gyore was just not confident. And I just felt so bad because if he wasn't in first, then he probably would have gotten some slack. But I just felt so bad for this child. But yeah, anyways, after all of that finishes, they announce the trainees that go from first to second, and those trainees are Gyore, Han Seok-hee, Moon Hyuk-jun, Park Min-yeon, and Ling-shi, and Oh Hyun-tae. I apologize, I wrote this on a napkin while I was away because I was going to I was gonna cry if I didn't have any type of script to do this. I'm sorry. But yeah, anyways, the trainees that go from second to first are Kim Dae-hee, Tae-seon, Kim Woo-suk, K-sol, and Hikari. Those trainees, along with the current trainees in the first grade, got to promote the song on MBC, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And yeah, as the third grade trainees are watching the music video for Fantasy, Soyeon comes in and she announces that she's going to evaluate them. And one of those trainees will get to be brought up to second or first grade, which, yay, we love to see it. We love Soyeon We love Soyeon. End of story. We love Soyeon. So as the trainees are getting evaluated, Hyunbin goes up and Soyeon's just like, you picked the wrong song during your evaluation because you were really, really good. You do not deserve to be a third, which I wholeheartedly agree with. We also got to see some other trainees like Hayato, like main Slayer. We love Hayato. He was a backup dancer for Stray Kids, and we love Stray Kids up in here. He does very, very well. Daniel shows some improvements, and we appreciate Daniel as well, as he is my outro for these videos. But I'm not going to go into what happened between Soyeon and Jaeyoung because that is a whole other section that I could probably talk about, but we do not have the time. So if you want me to talk about it, let me know in the comments. If you don't know what happened, a whole diss track was made after he was eliminated. It was a whole mess, but yeah, it was a whole thing. Anyways, after that, Hyunbin got promoted and he got to go live in the dorms with everybody, and it was just a really, really sweet moment, and we loved it. It was so cute. Now, let's move on to the stage performances of Fantasy. After Soyeon announces the stage, all the trainees go to perform. The first graders, the top 7 first graders perform first, then all of first grade, and then second grade, and then surprisingly, 8 third graders perform on the stage instead of 5, which was the original plan. But hey, we were here for it. We loved it. And then 42 trainees got to perform on the stage as a total. And then after the stage ended, they announced the rankings for the first survival round. And if you watched it on Naver, you saw the full ranking video. However, if you watched it anywhere else, it only showed you maybe 2 people, I believe. And one of those people was Yaya, and he ended up getting 4th overall, which shook a lot of people, including Yaya. But keep in mind, this was before the episodes aired. So, of course, he's going to rank a little bit higher because arguably him, Santa, and Jungwon are the most popular trainees on the show, so that does not surprise me. But I'm going to show the rankings on the screen. Currently, these are the rankings as of episode 2, and Jungwon is in 2nd and Santa is in 1st. And as you could tell, that caused a lot of heat on Twitter, but hey, it's fine. It'll change. It's just the first round. Get over it. And those top 12 trainees got to perform Fantasy on One The K's YouTube channel in black suits, which we appreciate, by the way. Anyways, that was the end of episode 2. The preview shows them getting ready to do the first evaluation stages, and they got to see what the songs are, which are Boy in Love by BTS, Deja Vu by ATEEZ, Thunderous by Stray Kids, Crown by TXT, 90s Love by NCT U, and The Stealer by The Boys, which are all good song choices, by the way. We live for that. And they're all just like fighting for the heartthrob part, which is also known as the killing part if you watch Boys Planet. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see that, and I cannot wait to recap that. Hopefully it'll come out sooner than this one. But yeah, I tried my best to keep this short and simple. My voice is dying. It's 12 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want episode 3, if you want me to continue the series. If you want me to do any more series, let me know. And let me know your picks in the comments below. And I'm sorry, I'm way out of breath. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. 'Cause I don't let go. You're mine. Can you let go?